Previously on the Data Factory.
The basics of database and SQL Server. Types of databases. Let's have a look inside a typical SQL Server. So with that, the installation is complete. The authorization, the server name that we create on Azure is essentially appended at the end with .database.windows.net. That was it. Similarly, databases, so TCL or Transaction Control Language. We have opened the SSMS and the local SQL server is already connected. In order for us to create a database and then create a table, verify the table, etc., or insert data, firstly, let's see how does SSMS as a tool is helpful in doing all these activities from using the UI, right? So let's right click on the database folder and let's select new database. Now here let's specify a database name. Now remember, the database name is non-case sensitive and spaces are allowed. Still, let us have the name as product_database. Cool. Let the owner be default. Perfect. You see here there are two files auto created, right, within the same installation location in the computer. One of them is the primary data file, right? So what is it actually? Okay, let's expand this. Perfect. Now it's fine. So the first one that we see here is essentially the data file, or we also refer to it as the rows data file, and this is used to store the actual table data, and the file type is MDF, also referred to as a primary data file. So this is the path wherein it is stored. In this particular instance, that is TDF collab _01, right? Perfect. And the second file that gets auto created, it's like a CCTV. We also call it as the transaction log file or T-log. This is used to monitor database and operations, like who created the table, who inserted, what were the operations made, etc. Now the file type for the T-log file is LDF. If we expand that, it is log data file. Okay, perfect. Now let us draw parallels, right? Say in MS Office we have an Excel file. Okay, now let me open up an Excel file just to draw parallels. So this is my Excel file, right? So this is book 1. That's the default name by which whenever we open a new Excel file, that's the name. So Excel file is similar to a database, right? And book 1 being the name of the database, whenever we create additional sheets, so all these sheets can be referred to as tables, right? So this is the whole area of the table. Okay, we have 1,000,000 rows and the columns extend up to alphabetical XFD. So within this particular sheet or table, we can have data, numeric, string, etc. Okay, so this is just to draw parallel. Perfect. Let us create the product database. Okay, now whenever we expand this database folder, we see the product database is created within the instance of TDF collab 01. Now let us use SSMS to create a table. Okay, so from SSMS, what we do is we expand the database, and this tables folder, we right click and we go to new table. Now we see one form here, right? So let's specify the column names. Now the first can be product ID. Enter product name, enter product type, enter customer 1, enter, okay, this will be product price, enter. Okay, so herein I am not specifying any data type here. Obviously it gives us quite a few options, but yeah, we will cover that at a later point in time and very soon, obviously. Now let us click on this particular section on this new tab or in the session that has been created for us, and we save the table. Now herein we can specify the table name. Okay, let us give the name as TBL sales. Perfect. Now if you see the product names, right, not product names, the column names, I have used different nomenclature for the names to essentially illustrate that whenever we give underscore, that's fine for the database, right? You can give an underscore if there are 2 words or a collection of 2-3 words that you're going to use. You can do away with the underscore or space. Whenever you give a space, that's basically enclosed within third brackets. We can have a digit within a column name, and also similarly here, whenever we have space, it considers that within the third bracket. Okay, now how do we verify that the particular table has been created? Let us expand the table section, and you see dbo.table sales is created. In case it's not visible for you, what you can do is you can right click tables, refresh, or you can also use this particular refresh button that appears on the object explorer. Okay, now we will cover the prefix that is dbo dot data types, allowing nulls here and other properties in upcoming sessions. Now how do we insert data into a table? Okay, so we right click the table and we edit top 200 rows. Let's fill in values like we would do in Excel, and okay, product ID 1, product name is prod 1, product type is cat 1, customer is VR, product price is 99, again 2, prod 2, cat 2, someone say Sam 999. Okay, let me come to the third row. Perfect. Now as you might see that each row is auto saved once we move out the mouse of the row we are previously in, right? So also whenever we were entering the data, we see that there was an exclamation sign. It indicates uncommitted or unsaved data. Okay, and additionally, if we hadn't mentioned anything, say in the product price, it was appearing as null. So that is the default value. It means undefined or unknown. Now remember one thing very clearly: null is not same as 0. Also, it is not same as an empty space, right? So let's go into the query mode. If we right click and we do a new query, okay, we enter into a session. So this is a new window, right? Every session is accompanied with a number inside the brackets. Here we see it is 64. This is nothing but the session ID. Okay, now let's select the top 1000 rows. Okay, now you see that all those data that we were entering row wise, those were auto committed, and we can essentially use this feature of right click, select top 1000 rows, and we have all the data. What we can also do is, okay, so basically let me run this same query here. We can select, we can execute, and whatever queries are here, we can also use the shortcut for executing the queries, that is F5. Perfect. I think until this it should be all clear, right? Now these are the ways wherein we use SSMS and we use the UI, the pretty much user-friendly UI, to create the database, to create the table, to verify the data within the table. Also, before verifying, we also insert data into the table, right? Now let's do the same thing exactly via executing queries, right? The queries that we had discussed, it will be data definition language and data manipulation language. Perfect. So let us close out these sessions. So we have a clean slate to start.